Welcome to the Author to Authority podcast. And if you have ever wondered about the impact of content on your marketing, on your sales, on your ability to get clients and customers, then you are not going to want to miss today's episode of the show. I want to welcome Michael T. Baker. He's from a rock star to an entrepreneur. He understands what it takes to help your business be found, liked, and trusted. He's married with 2 children and travels the country full time in a fifth wheel. Okay, that's an adventure in and of itself. He's the recent winner of the most innovative digital marketing agency, advertising firm of the year, and best social media marketing agency. Michael's firm Perception Content Media is helping businesses across the country grow their presence online. And he was born into a musical family, spent the first 6 years on a tour bus. No wonder he's comfortable living in a fifth wheel. He's also got a music career on top of that. So welcome to the show, Michael.
Thank you for having me, Kim. I'm very excited, and like we were talking about before, you came highly recommended by some mutual friends. So I'm excited to be on your show.
Yeah, so it was actually Dave Albin, and he was on the show. So if you want to check out that interview, you can go back, and I will look it up while we were talking, and I will tell you a little later which episode was Dave's. Michael, first of all, just take a moment and introduce yourself.
So as Kim said, my name is Michael T. Baker. That's another story for another time why I always have my middle initial in there. But it's a nice little indicator, separates me a little bit. But as she said, I spent most of my life as a musician, and but then I worked for 2 tech companies out of Nashville in Ohio. And while working with those tech companies, running their business development, I also ran all of their marketing. And even though that wasn't really what I was responsible for. And when I left the second company, I decided that what I truly loved and what I truly liked to do was marketing. And so I decided to open up my own marketing firm a little over 2.5 years ago. And we've been doing very well, and it's been a learning experience as it is with any type of entrepreneur and person that starts their own business. But I really love doing what I do, and primarily because my main focus is for small and medium-sized businesses, to really help them when they don't have as many tools and resources available to them as a lot of large organizations that have, this massive budget. I love helping the quote unquote little guy so that they can succeed and compete against some of those larger businesses.
Wow, that's wonderful. I love the fact that you chose to focus on a group that doesn't necessarily always get a lot of attention. And because when you think of small business, it's not like they've got money coming out, flowing all over the place, right? So, we try to think of target markets, but I really appreciate that about you, Michael. So, a couple of questions about being an entrepreneur for you. What has been the hardest part of your entrepreneurial journey so far?
I think the hardest part is the imposter syndrome. When you set off to be an entrepreneur and you're doing this, it's very easy to tell yourself that you're not, I'm going to fail. This is not going to work, and it's going to be unsuccessful. And there's those days where you feel empowered and you feel like you're going to take over the world and your business is going to be the next Amazon or whatever it may be. And then there's other days where you just want to curl up in a ball in a corner and have nobody talk to you because you're just like, what was I thinking? So the imposter syndrome, I think, is the hardest thing, because if you could get out of your own head and really, I think a key to that is surrounding yourself with the right people to encourage you, to mentor you, to teach you, and all those things, then you can make it. But I think that's the biggest hurdle is yourself.
Yeah. It's funny you said that because in my book, Author to Authority, I have a whole chapter on networking and the different people that should be in your network. But one of the people I put is your comrades, right? Those people who are at the same level of business are you, who are experiencing the same thing. They're the people that you go to, when you're feeling the imposter syndrome, when you want to curl up in the corner, when you just want to give up. But if you tell your family that you're going to give up, they'll be like, yeah, it's okay to quit because it's too hard. And you go to your comrades and they go, seriously, bud? Like they kick you in the behind and they say, come on, you got this. Keep moving forward. Don't quit. Don't give up. Yeah, this is a problem, but that's what you got us here for.
Exactly. 100%.
So, Michael, I know you've come prepared today to talk about, marketing and content. So I'm going to let you loose to share what you've prepared, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, sounds great. Yeah, you talked about it a little bit in the introduction, and what I wanted to really share with you and your audience today was what I've learned since even starting marketing myself. So when I started my firm, I was very much kind of a broad but narrow kind of thought process. In other words, if you needed a website, cool, I could build you a website. If you needed some social media help, I could help you with that. But it was all very individualized. And then what I learned was that a lot of businesses, small, medium, and large, were missing the foundational elements that they needed to make sure that they could be found online so they could rank higher. And that's before we even start talking about SEO in the sense of pay-per-clicks or running ads or any strong keyword, that type of stuff. Before we even get into that, it's foundational things that need to be done for any business. And the primary thing that I talk about a lot is you need to be able to be found, liked, and trusted online. And so you could have, I use the analogy, you could have the Lamborghini, the Bugatti of websites, but if nobody can find it, who cares? It's like having that type of a car, but never taking it out of the garage, right? And so one of the biggest things that I help businesses do is how to fix their listings across the internet. Because when somebody goes to Google and they say, and you can insert the business, but coffee shop, boutique store, restaurant, plumber, whatever it may be near me or in a certain city, Google has a split second to figure out what are the best possible results to rank the highest. And so in order to do that, you have to be able to be found not just on your Google business profile, because obviously Google is going to look its own backyard first, right? But it's also going to go out in that split second. It's going to look at all of its buddies: Yahoo, Bing, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Chamber, Brownbow. It's going to look at all of these sites. And if you're not listed 100% accurately, 100% the same across all of those sites, Google actually starts to bring you down in rankings. And so you have to get that fixed first. You have to make sure you're listed correctly across the internet. That will boost your rankings right out of the gate. The second thing is being, and it kind of goes together, liked and trusted, which is you have to get reviews from your customers, from your clients. You have to actively ask them to leave a review, because once Google sees that you can be found and your information is accurate, it then looks to see if you have positive reviews. And if you do have positive reviews and you have more positive reviews or are in line at least with your competition, and they're 4 or 5 stars, then Google's going to say, not only could I find this and are they accurate, but they are liked and trusted by other customers. I'm going to I'm going to suggest this business as a possible based on this search query. And so that's a lot of what I help businesses do, is fix that foundational level to help them become found, liked, and trusted online. And then once we do that, then we can start stepping forward and start talking about, okay, now what do we want to do about running targeted ads on either Google or Facebook or TikTok, Instagram, any of those things? But before you spend money on any of those things, take care of the basics, right? Put that before you build that second story on your home, make sure the foundation is built correctly first, so that it can hold everything else that you're planning on doing. Does that
Wow.
make sense?
Yeah, I never really thought about it that way, but yeah, it makes total sense. If you don't have the right foundation, it doesn't matter what ads you throw at it, nothing's going to happen to it. Hmm. So what would be some really practical action steps that, like, say you and I were talking, what would be some practical steps that I could take myself to help move that gauge a little bit more towards Google friendly?
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, first and foremost, if you do not have a Google business profile, obviously, in order to be found on Google, you got to have a Google business profile. So, create your Google business profile and make sure whatever the information is that you're going to have on there, your address, your phone number, website, all of those things are exactly how you want them to be. And then from that Google business profile, however you enter that information, then go to your Facebook, go to your LinkedIn, go to all your social, go and find yourself. If you're not found on Bing, if you're not found on Yahoo, anything that's relevant to your business, right? So if you're a restaurant, you don't need to be found on Zillow, right? So you don't have to go out and fix it on Zillow. But if you're relevant to Yelp, if you're relevant to your chamber, if you're relevant to the Better Business Bureau, go create those accounts and make sure the information that you enter when you're creating your profile is 100% the same as you have it on your Google business profile. And then, so once you do that and you get all of that taken care of, now you can start moving towards that next step and requesting the reviews.
Now, what if you're a really small business, sort of like, a consultant, a professional, say maybe a speaker or a thought leader? Um, obviously you can still do a Google My Business, but would some of that be different if you're not necessarily like a brick and mortar business, but say maybe a service based, like not service like plumber, heater, whatever, but like a B2B service based business?
Yeah, and there's ways you don't necessarily have to have a physical address in the sense of wanting, like, let's say you work out of your home as a consultant or a coach. You don't necessarily want people showing up at your front door. So a couple of the suggestions that I've had, because I do have clients like that, there are a couple of ways to fix that so that you can have something so that you can be verified on Google. The first thing is very easy. You can just get yourself a PO box, which is very, very affordable. And you can do that. The second thing is, and I think this is a really great thing to do, is every city in America at this point has shared space locations, office space locations. And a
Yeah.
lot of those places they'll charge you as little as $25-50 a month for that shared space location. And that is now a physical address. You can receive mail there. And even better, if you're a consultant coach and you want to have like a great working space that's other than your home, where you can kind of separate yourself from things that might be happening that's distracting. Or if you want to do podcasts and videos, you can set your own little office up with that shared space and be able to go and redo that. So that's another thing that I've been suggesting a lot, and a few of my clients have taken advantage of that advice and have done that, and it's just worked out great for them.
Mm. I know here in Canada, and at least in Ontario, a lot of those office places too, even if you didn't rent like an office space, you could pay to use their address as your business address. and
Yeah.
they would collect mail for you there.
Absolutely. You don't even, there's places out there, not all of them are this way. Some of them want you to, they're going to charge you for the office or the conference room type of thing. But there are a lot out there that will allow you to just use their address and collect mail for a small, like I said, 25, $50 a month. And that's extremely affordable for somebody who wants to have uh, the appearance of having a physical location without having to have a physical location.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else, Michael? What other good stuff do you have for us?
So yeah, so what other than that, those are the main things that my firm that we really help with is the listings management, the reviews, and all of that, and helping customers do that. One of the other things that comes up a lot because of the age of social media these days is in regards to getting influencers and getting people. Should you use influencers? Should I use an influencer? Should I do this for my business? And my answer to that is number one, evaluate your business and ask, is your business something that you would need an influencer? And secondly, absolutely, 100%. But don't think of it in the sense of you have to go find some A-lister somewhere. An influencer is as small of a scale as whoever is very well connected within your own community, within your own city. If they're a good influencer there, it's somebody who's popular, like a news person, a sports figure, an announcer, any of those people, you invite them out, invite them to take in your business, offer them a deal, obviously, to do that, and ask them, if I offer you a free meal to come to my restaurant, if I offer you 50% off of any of the items you buy from me, would you be willing to do a review for me? And a lot of them, most of the time, will say yes, absolutely, because it helps their status as well, right? It helps them as well, and of them being an influencer. And so I would say absolutely, 100%. And you use that to your advantage. Just use your own community. And then obviously, as you start to get bigger, and other influencers start to see, well, then you'll start getting emails and you'll start getting the contact saying, hey, can I come review your business? And what can I get for that? Like, yeah, absolutely. So that's a big thing that I think a lot of people should take advantage of. Find people who are willing to leave a review for your business, and as an influencer, to do a video, to do a reel, or anything like that. It's going to be really great because now you're capturing a whole nother audience that you never would have gotten on your own.
That's so cool. So something else I was thinking of, Michael, is content, because the title for today is Turn Your Marketing into Rockstar Content. What role does content play, and how do you create that rockstar content?
Yeah, so what we talk about with our clients is understanding each platform that you're going to be putting your content out on. And not every platform is perfect for everybody, but I also highly suggest to not shy away from platforms just because you don't think they're necessarily for you. Now, if you don't want to do any type of video, type of reels or TikTok or anything like that, I'm going to suggest that you figure out a way to do it, because you're missing out on a large audience. But if you don't, then obviously there's no reason to be on TikTok. If you're not going to do videos, there's no reason for you to be on TikTok. But really, it's make sure that whatever content that you're doing is focused on that particular platform. So even on LinkedIn has changed so much over just the last few years that LinkedIn I love LinkedIn. I've given training specifically on how to enhance your LinkedIn. But even LinkedIn, the video content is so much it grabs more attention than anything else that you're going to find on LinkedIn. So the main thing is to understand your audience and tailor that content for that. I think the other thing that's really big is don't be too over salesy. Offer tips, offer advice without asking for anything in return. Offer that advice as much as possible, because people are going to start latching onto that, and if they want your help, they'll reach out to you. They'll let you know. You don't have to tell somebody that you're trying to sell something. Everybody's trying to sell something. So that's my biggest thing, and I help people understand too, how to create certain kind of content. It doesn't have to look like you're in a studio, but there are certain things that you want to do in order to make sure that your content sticks out more than somebody else. So if somebody is scrolling, even that split second, those first 2 seconds grabs their attention and makes them stop for a second and pause. And then hopefully you can grab them for at least 10, 15 seconds before they decide to swipe again, and grab their attention and potentially turn them into a lead and a customer.
That was great, Michael. Thank you so much. We're going to start to shut this down here, but
Okay.
Michael, if people have enjoyed today's conversation and they want to connect with you, what are the best ways to connect?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do have an offer that I want to put out there for any of your followers, anybody who's watching you. So um, on my website, it's perceptioncontentmedia.com. You can reach out and press contact there. And anybody that contacts me there, and within the message puts the extraordinary word ninja in that and lets me know that they found me through this podcast, what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer them a special deal. So if you want to see, any business owners out there want to see exactly how Google and consumers view their business online, I have what's called I've got a report that I can run. Now, this report, I typically charge $250 for it. It's worth thousands. And basically, it's very similar to, let's say your check engine light comes on your car, right? And you have to take it to a mechanic, and they're going to hook it up to a diagnostics machine, and they're going to tell you with that report exactly what you need to fix. And that's exactly what my report does. It'll be a report that gives you exactly what you need to fix for your business to correct your online presence. And anybody who does that and puts the extraordinary word ninja and requests that through my contact page on perceptioncontentmedia.com, I'm going to do that for only $20. So $250, typically what I charge. It's worth far more than that. But like I said, I tailor everything to small businesses and understand their budget limits. But for anybody that's watching you and your audience, I'm going to do it for only $20. They just need to contact me on there, and I'll walk them through the process.
Thank you, Michael. That's been great. Michael, I'd love to give you an opportunity for one final thought to leave the listener with.
One final thought. Oh, I would just say, and this is just whether they are entrepreneurs, whether they are business owners themselves, or if they are just working for somebody else in life, is to never doubt yourself. Give yourself far more credit than what you probably are. Everybody, as they walk through life, are dealing with the same challenges. They're dealing with the same issues, same problems that you are. Trust yourself. Trust that you are working hard and that you can make it through any type of difficulties that you're dealing with.
Thank you, Michael. That has been awesome. And if you were listening to the beginning of this episode, we talked about Dave Albin and how he has worked with Tony Robbins, and he is the head of Firewalking. So if you want to find out more about that, go to episode 404. And if you're on YouTube, it'll either be on this side or that side. I'm not sure yet which side I have to point to. But you can click on the video right there and listen to Dave Albin talk about firewalking. So this has been Michael T. Baker and Kim Thompson-Pinder on the Author to Authority podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on the very next episode. Bye now.
Thank you.